Welcome to Emily Kate Made This. I am Emily Kate and I'm coming to you from Berlin in Germany. Welcome to episode 15. I should really check this. Today we have two finished objects of sewing, two finished objects of knitting, one half finished knitting and some works in progress. And yesterday was my birthday. And I had a day off of media and it was so wonderful, and I know I'm very privileged to be able to do that, but it did make me think some of you guys might just want half an hour not thinking about the news, not thinking about the rubbishness of what's happening. So hopefully my crafting can give you that little break. So yeah, enough of the sad topics because yes, it's all too much. Let's get on to some knitting. So, my first finished object you saw a little sneak peek of last time, and it's here. So this is my Into the Wild fox sweater by Tania Barley. You may recall that I told you that I did it wrong. I used my Plötulopi. I did not gauge swatch. I don't know really what my brain was doing. I get the gauge that's recommended is 17 stitches. I'm sorry, I'm really not prepared. My brain has been mush this whole week with all the rubbish that's been happening, and I'm trying to be more positive and do something nice and connect, and yeah, apparently my brain has not realised this. So I will add any information that I need to below, but basically the pattern gauge was a thing and I was very far off it. It was something like 17 stitches per 10 centimetres, and it's a single strand of Plötulopi, and it came out about 24 or 25 stitches in 4 inches, 10 centimetres. And yeah, obviously that came out too small. I originally made it in a size 4 to make it for my mum, but it came out much smaller just in here because the rest of this is enormous. And I don't know why I didn't check this, because if I use Plötulopi, which I have, I get that gauge, and Plötulopi is the equivalent of holding 2 strands of Plötulopi. So really I should have used Plötulopi for the whole thing and it would have probably fit. But alas, I did not. Good news is, my mum can't fit in it, but now I can. So yeah, bonus. But it has come out not quite as intended. Obviously you can see it's short sleeves. I didn't want to make really long sleeves until I knew what the yoke was going to do, because the neckline was really weird. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see that I posted about it. When I blocked it, it just stuck up like a weird collar thing. It was very odd, and that's one of the reasons I didn't do the sleeves, because I thought I'm not spending like another week or something doing sleeves and then the whole thing doesn't fit and I have to rip all of it out. And I do like the idea of having a short sleeve jumper. Weirdly, even though I have two Plötulopi jumpers and 3 Plötulopi, they're really warm and they're nice to wear in the house and outside, but one single layer is weirdly not that warm. And I think it's just me, because people rave about this being an outdoor garment, and no, I wear it indoors and I'm still cold. But it feels really nice. It's nice and loose and floaty, and I do like that. But yeah, the neckline was a mess. I'm not sure how well you can see it. It basically came to about here, and I had to fold it down on the inside, and I think it's called a whip stitch, where I just sewed it around very loosely to check that it would work. And it did work, but it stuck out like kind of here. So then I had to add some elastic, and I did that on the inside of it. And I followed a tutorial that I also used for my Felix and my tulip to bring the neckline in, and thank goodness it worked. So now I'm very happy with it because I can wear it and it doesn't look really weird. It doesn't look like I knitted it 4 times too big. No, too small. Mush, my brain is mush. Calm thoughts. So yes, I also made it cropped so that it would sit at my waist. Have I done my belt? Yes. It doesn't really go with very much in my wardrobe, let's be honest, but it will, because over time I'm going to ensure that everything I have goes with something, or at least something, but hopefully multiple things. And I will make this jumper again for my mum. I am umming and ahhing on which yarn to go for, because yes, it recommends Plötulopi, but I'm not doing that again. I hated the experience, to be honest, with this singular, very thin thread of the, I was going to say yarn, it is yarn, but it's not plied. Some people recommend the drops, I think it's drops air, but I don't really want to use I can't pronounce it, polyamide. I'd like to use natural fibres. So I did see some cascade, but I can't seem to get the colours. Some places have it, some others don't. Some have like 3 out of the 4. So maybe over time I can do that. It is superwash, but it is for my mum, and she's not really into natural fibres, so like, words, mush, brain mush. Let's try this again. She would probably appreciate a completely natural, non-superwash jumper, but she's never had one. She doesn't really spend the time to, or have the time to spend blocking out a jumper. That's my phone. So I think she'd just prefer one that you could put in the washing machine. So possibly that. I've also seen maybe Filcolana Highland Peruvian, that might work. Or I could try Plötulopi, but I think she'd find it too scratchy, because she made me a jumper before and it was, to her, very scratchy when she was knitting, and I don't find it like that, so hey ho, we will see. And then I have to make myself another one that's like the legit one with the long sleeves for winter, but let's worry about that in like October. So anything else? I talked a lot about it in my last episode, so if you want to know about like needles and stuff, and I've also put it on my Ravelry, which I have linked below. I don't really use it that much, but I am trying to put up my projects because I often think, oh, I'd like to make that again, and then I have no idea what needle size I used. So some of them don't have which needles I used because I didn't know. But maybe one day I will remake the item and realise which one I used and add the needle into it. I think this might be a very blabbery, waffly, lots of words episode. Let's have some tea. Okay, my next finished object you also saw last time. They are the little Acorn socks. I'm going to try and put a picture in somewhere for you to see, because I left them on my sock blockers and they were hanging here and they looked beautiful, and then I put them on because I couldn't wait any longer between like last time filming and now, and I very much enjoyed wearing them yesterday and last week, and they kind of got loosey-goosey. The sock blockers are beautiful, and I think there's something like 37 to 39, which already confuses me, because if I wanted them blocked out to a 39, how could they also be blocked out to 37, I don't know. But they came out a bit loose after I took them off the sock blockers. So I washed them again and smushed them, and they do fit a bit better now. There's nothing wrong with the pattern, it's just the sock blocker stretched it out. I can show you, I have some here, but I did wear them yesterday, and it does seem a little bit weird to show you my worn socks. I don't know why, they're not dirty or anything, but here they are. So it's the Little Acorns pattern by Stone Knits. I did change this section because it does have some oak leaves, I think, or some kind of leaf, and it would have looked really strange, green upon green. I originally did the pattern in this colour, but then when I put the squirrels on there, the squirrel catching the floats, they were poking through, and that was annoying me. And then I realised on the inside, like, if you open it up, there was one strand that went straight across here, and it meant that I couldn't get my foot into the sock, which was very frustrating. And I then realised I also had forgotten to go from a 2.25 to a 2.5. So that was, I ripped it all back except this cuff. Changed onto this new yarn, which I also talked about on my last episode. It's been in my stash a year, my mum's a few years, and then her friends before that. So I'm not sure if it's still available. It's not a fantastic yarn. It's I think a king coal, and it's 50% nylon and 50% wool, or superwash wool. But I'm hoping it does the trick, that it stays together and doesn't pill and doesn't look gross anytime soon. I think the colours are really nice, and it goes nicely with the theme. And the other two three yarns are Arvetta Classic. I did an Eye of Partridge heel on the back, and yeah, I think actually I ended up having to do my 2.25 as usual. Then I had to go to 2.75 for the Colourwork, and then I went back to 2.25. And I don't usually have to, but my knitting style seems to be doing all kinds of things, because the next project that I did, I stuck with 2.5 and that was fine. So I don't know, maybe it's the stress of this the last few weeks. But they're done and they're beautiful and I love them very much. And Colourwork socks are worth the rage, worth the float catching and unravelling and redoing, because they're so damn cute. And on the subject of socks, I did not make these, but my mum made these for me for Christmas, and they only just arrived in the post at the beginning of, don't know anymore, time has eluded me, it's just disappeared, don't know when, what, where. They were meant to be for Christmas, they came in sometime in February, and she made these for me. They're very matchy to my jumper. How adorable are these? So I think the pattern is a free one, Unravelry, and I will link it below. They're so cute. And she gave me the leftover yarn, so when this arrived in the post she also threw in the leftover scraps, so I have some plans for that. I'm thinking the Feel the Burn socks by Stone Knits, because why wouldn't I do another Stone Knits pattern? But I thought these do need to be shown to you on the internet because they're so cute. Okay, I can see my other project hiding. Okay. Then after I finished my little Acorn socks, they were actually like an interlude. They were on my Make 9, by the way. Make 9, woohoo! But they were as an can't speak. I saw these really cute Radish socks by Stone Knits, and they were due to come out, but they weren't released yet, and I wanted to knit something while I was waiting, so I knitted the little Acorn but they were already planned, and it just so happened that as soon as I finished them, I could cast on the Radishes socks. And I asked you guys on Instagram about, I always call it Leica, but I think it's Licker needles. They're wooden, they're birch wood, and I think they look beautiful, but I'm not sure how good they are. So I asked on Instagram, and I had like, they're awful and they're amazing, and nothing in between. So that made me even more curious. So I purchased some, they're not interchangeables, they're 80 centimeters, and I've got 2.25 and 2.5. Are you going to focus? No? Anyway, they're knitting needles. And they're really nice. I really liked them. I used 2.25, and then for my Colourwork I went to 2.5. I was a bit nervous because I thought my last ones I had to go up even more, but they were perfectly perfect. They made my stitches looser, so I never think I'm a tight knitter because everything, like, as I'll tell you later, everything else comes out too big, but then the Colourwork came out too tight usually. So that worked, that was marvellous. Then I did my heel, and then I did the foot, and logically thinking, you'd think, these stitches are coming out looser, I should probably do less stitches, but I didn't. And I did my usual 60 that goes down the foot, and they are too big. But I may have to give this pair, well, I've only made one, it's a half finished object. May have to give this one to my mum, but look at them, they're so cute. So it looks innocent enough, but it is actually just a bit too big. And I didn't even put these on the blocker because I knew they're already too big. If I put them on the blocker, they're going to be even bigger. So I'm going to make another one. Well, to be honest, I did think about ripping it all out and making it smaller, but that was painful. So I think I'll knit them down to about here. And then whenever I see my mum, I'll ask her to try this on, and then I can finish the next one, or she can finish the next one. And I will make myself another pair. There is a theme here. We've gone, this one came out too small, this one came out too big. If it's made for me or my mum, one or the other. So I'm going to make another pair for me. Does feel a little bit like I'm going to just be on a year of repetition where I make this 3 times and 4 individual socks. But they are very cute, so can't really complain, can I? I also used our Veta Classic for this one, Fil Color, and the pink of the Radishes is an Onion Knits. I was going to say fox socks. No, sock yarn. I also actually wanted to ask if any of you guys have used the Onion Knits sock yarn, because I made a pair for my mum, which I think I've shown you. I think so. And hers have gone a bit furry, like fuzzy, but they're fine. But when I made a pair and I accidentally washed them in the washing machine, they say they're superwash, so technically it should have been okay. They felted. And now I have 2 skeins of this pink yarn, and I'm scared to use it in case I make a pair and they go all fuzzy and weird. So if you have any experience, please tell me. Good or bad. Where should I put you? Put you back down there. Little tea break. My husband bought me lots and lots of tea for my birthday, so I am all set for a good while now. Okay, and then on to works in progress. I have another sad tale, and this time I swatched. I did an actual swatch. I swatched it, I washed it, I counted it, I asked my husband to count it, we must have counted it about 4 times each. I cast on my first fingering weight jumper, Colourwork, and it's ridiculously small. And I'm having a hard time with this. I know I need to rip it out, but I can't bring myself to do it. I used the woolly knit cones that I got for Christmas. Ugh, they're still attached. Get off, get off. So I'll try and bring them with me. So one of the reasons that this was upsetting is that I swatched. The second being that I used, I'll come back, 3 colours in the row, and I did increases. So I held 3 strands of yarn at the same time for several rows, increasing, and now I have to rip it all back. Sorry, I'm really balancing these cones on my hand. So don't think you can see, the sun is doing strange things now, but basically it's a cacti top. It's super cute. I'll insert a picture of what it should look like. And it is supposed to be 26 stitches on 3.25 needles, and that is what I got. And I went up a needle size for my Colourwork, and then when I'm trying to measure the gauge, which is I'm finding very difficult actually, to use a straight ruler and measure a circular yoke with 26 stitches, but apparently I'm getting about 32 stitches, which is also confusing because that is a lot of extra stitches and I don't know how that's possible. I did steam block it. I wafted my steam iron and mushed it about a bit. I have been told I could put it in the bath and properly block it and see, but then I was watching an Andrea Mowry I'll Knit If I Want To episode, and she said that could make a jumper really weird if you block it like this much of it and then you continue knitting and then it all gets a bit higgledy-piggledy. And also when I did my swatch and my friend did a swatch, I and her both noticed that the gauge doesn't really change with the woolly knits. So now I'm a bit lost. It should be 36 inches across, and my friend Nina, she did calculations, thank you Nina, and she said it was going to come out at about 30 inches, which that ain't gonna fit. So we did discuss that I could add some extra rows of increases and then make it up a size or 2, but then all of the cacti, which there'd be a row there and then one that's slightly off there, they'd all be odd basically. It would all mess up the pattern. So I need to rip it out, and I don't want to. And because of that, I cast on a different jumper to make myself feel better. But I do know that I'll either just cut the yarn, leave that aside, start again on a size up or 2 sizes up, and then come back to that one later. Or at some point I will bite the bullet, rip it out and start again. It's just, the yarn says it's 4-ply, but then it's actually quite thin, and then when I even look at it on the 3.25mm needles, you can see through it. So if I go up more needles, it's just gonna be like a knit, like a vest, one of those string vests that you can see everything through. So I don't know. So many of you guys are using woolly knits. How are you finding it? Do you find that the Colourwork gets bigger? Do you find that the holes fill out? Because my swatch didn't really fill out spectacularly. But I know that a gauge will change on an actual sweater as opposed to a small square. But yeah, any words of wisdom? I don't think, can I get this close? Maybe you can see the sunlight is playing games with me. Please focus. So yeah, you can see here but it's pretty see-through. Obviously the colourwork is fine, as in it's not super see-through. Focus, focus. So yeah, if any of you guys have any words of wisdom, I will take them graciously. So that was my intended sweater project, but now I've started a new one. I don't think I've talked about this, but there is a sweater. It's a free pattern for children. I love children's clothing. It's just, I've noticed something. I love children's clothing, and because I'm quite small, sometimes I can fit into some, depending on what it is. And other times my clothes just happen to look like kids' clothes. And like this, for example, I love things with smiling animals and things, and a lot of people think I'm weird that I have clothing with bees on and smiling dinosaurs and this kind of stuff. But I don't care. And most people say, oh, if only that came in my size to a kid's item. And I think, but you wouldn't wear it if it did, because people always go, oh no, I couldn't, it's too childish. I love it, but I couldn't. And they're always sad. And people should embrace the child within, and they should wear all the happy things and all the lovely clothes because it makes you happy. So on that rant, I found this child's pattern. Can't remember who it's by, but I will put a picture and stuff. It's called Matulda, I believe, and it's an Easter bunny jumper. In my very first colourwork project, I used the bunny and practiced on a pair of socks, not realising that colourwork socks are a whole beast of their own and they need to be tackled in a different way. But alas, the sock came out incredibly small and was abandoned, but there's a movie that has lost my brain, the one with Leonardo DiCaprio and the woman, Jennifer Lawrence, and everyone's obsessed with this jumper that's like yellow with pink, and somebody put up a free pattern, or a free recipe I guess, on their Ravelry, and I had a look at that and I tried to merge her numbers with the kids jumper to try and get the jumper to be able to fit me. I am absolutely terrible with maths, and so I am just begging the universe, the knitting gods, that this will fit and will not come out too huge or too small. I haven't got very far, but hopefully you'll be able to see a little bit. It's upside down, but it's the yoke. This is a safety line in case I have to rip it out. So although this is upside down, these are carrots. I should show you the bottom one really, shouldn't I? There we go. They are the carrots, and I'm starting the bunny now. So a little bit nervous that it's going to be enormous. I got a bit panicked and I did a swatch, begrudgingly, because I thought, oh, the swatch is live, like the other one did. So even though I got gauge, I think it's 22 stitches on 3.25, I think, I went up a needle size. Like, I don't care, it's probably not going to fit anyway. So I went up, and then accidentally I put in my 3.75 and my 4s of the Chiago interchangeables in the wrong place. So now the colourwork I'm doing in size 4. So we'll see what happens. But it looks fine. And even if it's too big, it's fine. It's going to be fine. But it is hopefully going to be the marvellous jumper that I envisioned when I saw this child's jumper. Basically it has little carrots and little rabbits, and it's white, and that's where I got the idea for this one, is to have crop sleeves, but I think I'll make them maybe 3/4 length because the wool is Corriedale. My brain! It's just a corridor yarn. It's really nice to squish with your hands. It's so soft and lovely. And I found this yarn on Etsy. I will knit with it, and then I'll tell you if it's good or not. But it's fun. It's been fun to turn into yarn balls, and it was really soft and squishy and nice, and it feels nice in the hand. So hopefully this will turn into a gorgeous jumper that I will wear at Easter, maybe before, hopefully before. Sometimes we have really hot Aprils in Berlin and it's basically summer, and then other years it's like winter. So let's see. I love the summer, so I don't really want to encourage the cold weather, but I would like to wear this jumper at Easter, so let's see. That is all of my knitting for today. I'm going to add timestamps, which I should have mentioned earlier. But yeah, the sewing is coming next, so if you are not interested in sewing, then thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Hopefully with some beautiful, gorgeous jumpers and socks and loveliness. Word and more words that make sense. And if you are interested in sewing, then let's get to that. They're over there, but I think it'd be weird just to hold it up and show you. I'll try and put them on and then show you. I made the Peppermint pocket skirt. I'm going to show you up close. I made the Peppermint pocket skirt, which I have made before and I've shown you. It was blue, and this one is with dinosaurs. So I will put it on and do a little video somewhere, but I wanted to show you up close the adorableness of this fabric. So that's the first one. It is a free pattern on the Peppermint magazine website, and it's got huge pockets and I really like it. Has an elasticated waistband, which for some reason has come out a bit big on this one. I measured it to be 2 inches smaller than my waist and it's still somehow too big, so I don't know. But I made a little, like a strap that I can tie around my waist to cover up the elastic part, because I just don't like how that looks. We'll see what it looks like when I do that. That's not the pattern's issue, that's just me. I don't really like the look of elasticated waistbands, but I do like that you can breathe in them. Then that was fabric from Mugstofferei, I believe. I'll link it down below. Actually, I can't link it below because it was on sale. So it's gone now, but it's beautiful. So enjoy it through the screen. The pattern I really like. I wore it. I made it last year and I really enjoyed it. I thought I was a bit dubious if I'd actually wear it, and then it turns out to be the most worn skirt that I have. So now I have another one. And I very much enjoy it. I was going to wear it today, but then it wouldn't have matched my jumper. So I had to choose. Then my next dress is, sorry, I feel like I'm rushing, but I haven't really got anything more to say. This is the Kew Dress. Let's give you a little close-up. I've got my terrible ironing skills. And that is the Kew Dress. Last year I made it in size 8, and I got very muddled with the sizing because it had like a super tiny waist for a size 8, but then the bust seemed like it was too big. But then when I made it, it came out really tight. It looks nice, but I can't really breathe. And I think it's just the way my body is shaped that isn't normal. Of course it's normal, but I mean in terms of patterns, it doesn't fit at the back. I always have either not enough space or too much space. And I know I have to learn some kind of back adjustment or shoulder adjustments, but it blows my mind, and I've watched so many YouTubes, and I just need someone in real life to show me in person how it works. So eventually that will happen one day. But basically, I made this dress, came out too small, didn't wear it. Then I made a skirt, and I thought I would try the elasticated waist back, but the flat front. But I didn't put my brain box in that day, so I actually made the correct size, then added the elastic, and then it made it even smaller. So then I never wore that. So I used that skirt, ripped out the elastic, and then the leftover scraps from my bee dress that I showed you a couple of episodes ago, I made a bodice in size 10, and then I added the skirt without the elastic, inserted that in, made that, bingo. So now that's beautiful. The only issue with it is what I just said, that it fits here, but then if I turn to the side, it's pretty gappy. But then it does mean if I do that, it doesn't stretch and hurt. So I think I'll have to live with that. But it looks nice. Oh, and the other thing is that my bra straps are here and the dress is like there. So they don't quite meet. But I don't know how to fix that. I think that's just the dress. Yeah, so that's me using up my scraps and fixing up some projects that didn't go so well last year. I did originally want to make a birthday dress, but I've got so many dresses, I really didn't need to. I will probably make the dress in mind at some point during the summer, but I want to keep practicing my sewing skills, so I want to keep sewing, but I don't need the dress. So that's why I'm pulling apart and ripping up the dresses I don't really wear, trying out a new technique, making a new dress from the dress or skirt that I already had, and I'm on repeat doing that until one day I know what I'm doing. More tea. Okay, one last thing, because I'm running out of voice. I feel like I'm getting closer because my voice isn't carrying quite as far. It was my birthday yesterday, and I got 3 lovely skeins of yarn from Keith's Garn in Berlin, and I got a beautiful skein from my mum. So I just want to show you those quickly, and then we will wind up. So this is the one my mum posted to me. Isn't it beautiful? Last episode I showed you a framework bralette that my mum sent the yarn for my birthday the year before. So this one's a sock yarn. So come up with a pair of socks for these. And then I also got some yarn from Keith's Garn in Berlin. I showed you this on Instagram, if any of you follow me there. Where's a good angle? There we go. And I am so excited for these. Do you think I need to get a bit closer to you? So yeah, she had a kind of a sale of a she had a sale for a secret sock yarn set that you pay less but you don't know what you're getting. You're definitely going to get sock yarn, but you don't know which colours and which fibre. So 2 of them are merino and 1 is blue face Leicester, and the colours are perfect, so I'm very happy. It was a birthday present to myself, because why not? And I have many socks in mind, but you'll have to wait to see which I choose. So on that note, of birthday happiness. Hopefully I gave you a nice little break from the rubbishness of the world that's going on right now, and you got to enjoy thinking about anything else. And I was going to say now you can go back to it, but I don't encourage you to go back to it, but I know we have to, because hiding under a rock doesn't help anyone. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed what you saw. If you did, a little like would be wonderful, and a subscription would be excellent. And I will see you next time. Bye.